He won 8 Ballon d'Ors. He lifted the Golden World Cup. He is adorned with every silverware the game could offer. And yet, giant murals of his face now tower over the streets of a city that once turned its back on him.
Most people look at Lionel Messi today and see an undisputed god. They think his story was a straight line, pure talent, pure execution, inevitable rise. But behind the glory lies a much darker truth. For over a decade, his own country didn't just doubt him. They actively hated him. They called him El Catalan, implying he was more Catalan than Argentine. They accused him of saving his best for Barcelona. They booed him in his own stadiums. And in 2016, he sat in a cold locker room in New Jersey, stared at the floor, and quit international football at 29 years old. This isn't a video about football. I'm about to break down the psychological and philosophical blueprint of what happens when the world turns against exceptional talent, and how the best minds fight their way through it. Stage 1. The projection trap. You see this play out constantly in real life. Your family, your company, your audience, or your team projects their deepest insecurities onto you. Then they resent you for failing to heal wounds you never caused. They hand you a role you never agreed to, and then judge you for not performing it perfectly. That's exactly what happened with Messi. Argentina in the 2010s was drowning in a decades-long trophy drought and a desperate hunger for national pride. The public didn't want a great player. They wanted a savior. Messi was winning everything in Europe, but when he stayed quiet and clinical instead of screaming like Maradona, they turned on him. They weren't booing his lack of talent. They were punishing him for not carrying the weight of their entire identity. Because when people are in pain, they don't look for truth. They look for somewhere to place the burden. And if you don't recognize this early, you'll spend years trying to fix a problem that was never yours to solve. Stage 2. The scapegoat mechanism. This is where philosophy meets raw human nature. When a group is filled with tension and chaos, they pick one high-profile person to blame for everything. René Girard called it the scapegoat mechanism. It gives the crowd something to unite against. It simplifies complexity into a single target. One person, one story, one outlet for frustration. Messi became the perfect target. For years, the media and fans pushed the same story. One man was responsible for a nation's pain. Marcus Aurelius saw this clearly centuries ago. Public praise or condemnation doesn't change your actual worth. Gold doesn't become dirt just because the crowd calls it dirt. The label changes, the substance doesn't. The crowd is fickle. They follow whatever narrative is loudest. Once you recognize that you're being turned into the scapegoat, don't let it live in your head, because the real damage isn't what they say about you. It's when you start agreeing with it. Stage 3. The strategic retreat. In 2016, after yet another painful final, Messi retired from international football because staying in a broken system often costs more than leaving it. Most people see walking away as weakness, but sometimes it's the strongest move you can make. By stepping away completely, Messi broke the toxic cycle. He forced an entire country to feel the vacuum he left behind. The same voices that called him a fraud suddenly started begging him to return. This is the boundary lesson. When the environment becomes poisonous, trying harder or explaining yourself rarely works. When you remove yourself, you reset the frame, whether it's a toxic job, a draining relationship, or a community that takes more than it gives. The tactical retreat forces reality to recalibrate. Messi didn't quit because the pressure was too much. He walked away because he refused to play a rigged game. Even when he returned, the real problem still remained, the system itself. That's where stage 4 comes in. Stage 4. The architecture reset. Talent is useless if the system around you is built to exploit it rather than support it. You don't rise to your potential. You fall to the structure you're placed in. For years, Argentina's plan was simple. Give Messi the ball and pray. One genius expected to do everything alone. A fragile, single point of failure setup. The shift happened when Scaloni took charge. He didn't ask Messi to work harder. He rebuilt the entire architecture. A decentralized team of young, aggressive players whose job was to run, tackle, and create space so Messi could operate as a cold, surgical finisher. If an exceptional talent is stuck inside a broken culture or organization, their output will always look average no matter how hard they grind. The difference isn't more effort, it's fixing the system first or building a new one. For 28 years, Argentina had suffered a painful international trophy drought. Messi didn't just end it, he shattered it in spectacular fashion. He led them to Copa America glory in 2021, then the Finalissima in 2022. In Qatar, Messi won the World Cup at 35, well past his physical prime. He ran less than almost every other player on the pitch. He became the calm, tactical anchor, while a better system executed around him. And yet he's still playing at the top level internationally. The same country that once rejected him now worships him. He didn't become more, he was finally used correctly. Time filters the noise, and if you're still standing when it does, you win.